The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's going on, guys? Welcome again to the Back Up podcast. It's a Saturday as we're recording this, so this is one of the very few times we record on the weekends, but we haven't released an episode since the Super Bowl. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's been a month or almost a month, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Man, well, it is what it is. I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. We got a lot to discuss today. We got some NFL stuff to talk about, whether it's our Giants or news around the league. Got a little bit of basketball, then baseball. Well, it starts this month. I'm very excited for that.
Yes, couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Your Mets, correct?
Mets, yep.
You feeling excited? You feel ready for them?
I feel ready for them. It's it's going to be an interesting year.
Hey.
It's a rebuilding year.
Fair enough.
Maybe they'll make the playoffs, maybe not. We'll see. 84 wins. That's where I have them. 84.
That's not too bad.
No.
Let's see. Me being fans of two teams, but in opposite leagues. One being the A's, one being the Phillies. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But let's just say the A's, I got no hope. But it's okay.
They'll be in Vegas soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, and we got some mailbox questions. It's our first time doing that type of thing. Questions from you guys that you want us to answer. Some are serious, some are funny. We'll get to it all on the show. But first off, I think the news of the week is Russell Wilson. And, obviously we had, teams visit with players or players being released and stuff like that. But Russell Wilson is one guy that stands out from from pretty much everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get it going. So, look, Ryan, me and you, we're college students, right?
Yeah.
And, we're paying for classes, whether it's out of pocket or, financial aid and stuff like that. But what if I told you that you could be paid $85 million to do absolutely nothing?
Sounds pretty great.
As I'm saying, the Denver Broncos actually are related to this because with the release of Russell Wilson, the Broncos owe Wilson $85 million. And this is important because this is called the dead cap, as you guys may know. And basically, as I just mentioned, you owe whoever you're releasing that amount of money, but basically they can play somewhere else for like the minimum.
Yeah.
And that's important because there's 31 other teams who should have enough cap space. Well, unless you're one of the Saints who are like in cap hell. But
I think cap hell is being nice about it. I think it's worse.
How worse is it?
I think it's bad. I think it's right now. How
bad.
Much? You going?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know the Saints are they're way over the limit. I think they tried.
They are the latest figures come in. This is of February 19th. They are somewhere between $80 to $84 million over the cap.
Oh yeah, there's no
Last
way.
figure came in at $224.8 million.
Yeah, there's no way they. Even as we record this on March 9th, there's no way they got under.
Yeah, you can't fix that in a month.
No.
You can't fix that you need 3 years to fix that. You need a plan of how to fix something like that.
I would just release everybody.
Start over.
It's how can you even sign the rookie class that you're about to draft this season?
I think you can.
Exactly, you can't. You got no money, but. Regardless, like I mentioned, if you're gonna get paid $85 million to do absolutely nothing or just to not even play on the team, you're living life, and that's what Russell Wilson is doing. And honestly, if you paid me $85 million, shoot, I would go buy some stuff. I tell you, I'm talking like Apple products.
But there'll be signs.
What would you give the $85 million?
Beer. Probably beer.
I'd probably get some new technology, maybe the new Xbox or vacations, donate some to charity, all that stuff. But regardless, Yeah, the Broncos, $85 million to them. That's not pretty if you're Denver. And honestly, that's a bad look for the whole team. But teams like the Giants and then Pittsburgh Steelers have met with Wilson over the past week. The Giants were a surprise, as all we knew was Russell Wilson meeting with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin and yada, yada, yada. But then before he went to Pittsburgh, he apparently met with the Giants. And that meeting went, I guess, okay, according to reports. It was an exploratory meeting, as was the correct, correct phrase to. So I guess
it's kind of you feeling the guy out. Like, all right, what is this?
Yeah.
You're kicking the tires. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a surprise because, remember what's it called? After the season, Joe Shane had that press conference and he was like, Daniel Jones is a starter, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to explore some veteran quarterback options in the free agent market. And this is kind of correlating with the Wilson meeting. So I guess what do you think about this? Is this would this be a good fit? Stuff like that.
I think this is just Joe Shane being a really good general manager and just turning over every single stone possible. I don't think Russell Wilson fits the Giants all that well because you have, Daniel Jones, and then you have the possibility of wanting to draft a quarterback, which is the rumor going around right now that the Giants are desperately trying to trade up. So Wilson's going to want to come in here and start maybe one season at best, and probably not because as soon as he struggles, because we still don't know what quarterback Russell Wilson is he the quarterback from Seattle or is he the quarterback from Denver? We don't know what we're going to get. But as soon as the struggles begin, the call for the rookie is going to come in, or the call for Daniel Jones are going to be out in full force. And I just don't think Wilson's going to want to deal with that. I think there are better options where he could be a more secure starter.
Mm-hmm. I guess to add on to that, would you kind of compare this to the Kurt Warner, Eli Manning situation?
It's 100% Kurt Warner, Eli Manning.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst idea, though, because I know you can get Wilson, right? But that kind of lessens the pressure on Shane to say, okay, at 6, I got to go get a quarterback. Not necessarily because, and this question will be added on to in just a bit because there's a prospect in the second round that the Giants could chase if they do get Russell Wilson. That's intriguing at quarterback. But yeah, I think for me is that, look, I know, Daniel Jones is someone that a lot of Giants fans don't like at the moment. And, even Louis Riddick on ESPN, he criticized, the Giants for how they treated him.
I don't trust Louis Riddick, though. He's salty. So people forget this. When the Giants hired Dave Gettleman, Louis Riddick was running the finals.
Correct.
He was going to get that job. And then ever since he has gotten that job, he's been, very against the Giants. So I take everything he says about us with a grain of salt because I think he's, I think he's salty a little bit.
Oh, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I like them low key, but I was like, we were both, I'm sure, excited when Gettleman, became the GM.
I'm like, all right, this is the guy. It's perfect.
And then he wasn't. But yeah, I think if you get Wilson right, and let's say at number 6 you go, get yourself a Malik Neighbors or a Rome Odunze at wide receiver, that's not bad because at least you have a quarterback, you have a wide receiver number 1, and if things don't work out, you possibly, draft a quarterback next year in the first round. If things go down the drain, or you go quarterback in the second round, whatever the case may be. I just think that Wilson is a good fit because I know Denver, he looked like shit, but at the same time, you got to think about he was a winner once upon a time, and it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago where he was
3 years ago. Yeah, what was that? Yeah, 3 years ago was that for trade? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he was pretty good in Seattle. I mean, he had a winning record. He
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, won a Super Bowl, even though that was 11 years ago. But the point is,
oh my god, that was 11 years ago. Oh my god.
I know. I was looking at that on ProFootballReference.com, and it said 2013. I was like, golly.
I don't like that. Don't like that at all.
I know it's been a while, but I mean, when he was with Seattle, he led them to winning seasons every other year. It was that last season in Seattle where everything just went down the drain. He went 6-8 as a starter, but I believe in him. I mean, last season wasn't the worst.
No, he was fine last year.
Yeah, they just benched in the last couple games because they're like, all right, if you're not going to waive your injury guarantee,
Sean
whatever.
Payton's being a jerk because didn't want Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and who wants to play under a coach like that?
Yeah.
I knew from the beginning. To be honest, I was like Sean Payton going with Denver. I mean, we saw him with the Saints before, just stay in retirement, but he came back and coached, which good for him. But at the same time, wasn't the best fit for Denver, or Russell Wilson in particular.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's say, for example, right, and I don't like the situation because I honestly I don't like the guy. I kind of don't like this guy in particular. But what if we did Daniel Jones? The quarterback room would be filled up. Daniel Jones, and I'm talking training camp. Jones, Tommy DeVito, Russell Wilson, and then we draft JJ McCarthy.
Hate it. I don't hate it. I hate JJ McCarthy.
That's not gonna sit well with some giant. Why? I
just don't think he's as good as everyone's making him out to be. I think he played fine, but he was on a very good Michigan team with a lot of talent around him. I think if you take JJ McCarthy off that team, Michigan still wins a national championship. I think he's just a very game manager type quarterback, not like this major difference maker that everyone thinks he can be.
Well, he did mention, I remember in the Combine press conference where he was talking about stats don't matter to me, that it's the wins that do.
I mean, I get that, but college is a lot different in the NFL.
That is true.
Wins in college don't exactly translate to wins in the NFL.
Look at Jimmy Garoppolo, right? He wasn't the best, but the team won. And sure, he was, praised at times, but he wasn't the highest praised guy. It wasn't like, Garoppolo is the guy that's leading the Niners to wins. No, it was the team around him, including Christian McCaffrey. But that's and especially the Giants don't have the Giants
don't have that team where you can come in here and be like, all right, well, there's stars everywhere. There's possibilities to be nobody next year in our receiving corps. Saquon seems to be gone. We still need to bring in a number one receiver. Waller might retire.
It's a complete.
Is JJ McCarthy going to come into?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a complete mess in terms of the Giants core. So bringing a guy like McCarthy in, it's not gonna, I guess, help him out. I mean, if you sit him a year, that's why the Wilson kind of helps out a little bit.
Put him in the right situation with the right talent. Maybe he can develop into something. But he's a project guy, and I think McCarthy has this thing next year he can take over. No. He needs time. He needs a lot of time.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think and it's if the Giants draft a quarterback, they're going to be a project. It's just how big of a project. And I guess what you're saying is McCarthy is a bigger project compared to a guy like a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May. As much as we don't like Drake May, he is
those are two guys that could theoretically start next season. You can go into week one with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May as your starting quarterback.
100%
with McCarthy.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I think I do like Wilson. I really do. And if he comes to the Giants, especially as we just talked about in the beginning, the veteran minimum is what he would like.
The minimum is huge.
And
I don't love it right now. I definitely could talk myself into liking it though.
Would you take the minimum if you were Wilson or no?
I mean, I would take the best contract offer, but if I'm making $85 million, money is not really an object for me right now. I'm basically going to a spot of where is the best position for me to enhance my career at. That's what Wilson should be doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also have the mindset that I had an okay average season last year, right? I want to prove myself. Let me just take, like you just mentioned, I'm getting paid $85 million already. Let me take the minimum and prove to teams hey, I can still be a top tier starting quarterback in the NFL. And then I deserve my money in 2025. So if I'm Wilson, I would take that mindset.
It's betting on yourself. You got to bet on yourself in this one.
There you go. And if you're the Giants, you're losing $1 million? Oh, wow. We have enough cap space to sign that type of guy, especially of his caliber. So I would take him, especially because the situation at quarterback is just so
right.
Uncertain.
So bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very scary. I don't know. Speaking, you mentioned Saquon Barkley, and I don't want him to go. I might cry personally because I really love the guy, and I know you might be a little bit emotional about him too.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I have his jersey.
Yeah, I got a few.
We drafted him. I bought it that night.
Really? Sheesh. I got the alternate color rush of him, the regular home jersey. Got the away. I didn't get the. I have to get the color rush ones, the white ones. I like that one.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice.
Exactly. But obviously, me and you, if we're gonna buy more jerseys of Saquon, we got to hold off because he is currently not a Giant. He is exploring the free agent market. The Giants are not bringing him back on the franchise tag, and the Giants also did not bring back Xavier McKinney, more specifically on their transition tag. And so both guys are very pivotal to the Giants, and they decided not to bring him both at all and let them test the free agent market. Look, we knew about Barkley for sure.
Mhm.
Saquon was a guy that, obviously was franchise tag last season, had a pretty decent year, almost ran for 1,000, but not. He was like 16 or 20 yards short of what the case may be. But more importantly, Xavier McKinney had a great season last year.
Mhm.
And he's 24 years old, one of the youngest.
Yeah,
safeties in the market.
mid 20s ish. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't brought back. So, do you agree with Joe Shane and his decision to maybe not tag any of those guys, or do you feel like,
I think the position. I think Saquon. I understand not tagging.
Mhm.
No point of pissing off Saquon even more.
Yeah.
Get him to the open market. Let him explore, and then we can get to bidding wars for Saquon. That I get. I think the Giants were planning on tagging until they saw all the safeties cut and become free agents. So Shane's now looking at the market like, okay, there are now an abundance of safeties out there, meaning the price for safety is going to go way down. I can let McKinney walk and sign him for cheaper than I would if I tagged them and then had to sign him to a contract extension. So I think it's just one of those things where it's just like outside factors are making the Giants kind of, they're playing a game. It's a risky game, but they're trying to play this game in order to protect the cap health.
I understand. And for those of you who don't know what the transition tag is, basically what you're getting paid is basically what the market says. For example, Patriots Kyle Duggar, the safety, was transition tagged by New England, and the franchise tag was about $17 million if you were to get franchise tag, but because of the transition tag, Duggar will be paid $12 million instead, unless he gets signed. He signs with someone else. The Patriots can match that, but at the moment, it's currently $12 million. That's what the transition tag is. And if I'm sort of incorrect, forgive me, but that's pretty much
the basic idea of it. Yeah,
basic idea. Okay, there we go. Cool. I understand the Saquon thing. I understand that you don't want to play on the franchise tag. Obviously that means there's no guarantees that you'll be back the next year, right? And imagine being a player. It's like, okay, I'm playing on 1-year contracts over and over and over again. What else do I have to prove?
The Giants would love that, but nobody would. No player would ever want that.
Mm-hmm. Especially of Saquon's caliber.
Especially Saquon and the position he plays.
Mm-hmm. And Saquon's like he's done enough, I guess, for the organization with the mediocrity around him. It's like, okay, either you pay me my money and I'll deal with this crap, or I will test the market and go somewhere else. And trust me, as me and you know, there are plenty of destinations out there that Saquon can go to that have much better offensive systems and players around him.
The Texans, though, I think are going to back up the bricks truck for him already.
Oh man, if he goes to Houston, I would be happy for him. Because
I saw Philly. I don't want Philly.
I know, but he might.
That was a big landing slot. Was Philly? I'm like, no.
Okay, let's realistically.
If we do Philly, there has to be an emergency podcast.
Okay.
I'm gonna cry.
Between Philly or Dallas, what's worse? Because Dallas was part of it too.
Philly.
Philly's worse?
Philly's worse.
Oh. I heard you have beef with Philly.
That'd be great if you had beef with Philly. That means he's not going.
No, I'm saying you have beef with Philly.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. That was very interesting. We haven't recorded in a month, but something happened this past month that was very interesting between you and a specific Phillies fan. But we'll get to that later.
The state of the Phillies fan. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that.
I don't know. Obviously Houston's a great destination. You have Oh, I love Tank Dell. Tank Dell's a good wide receiver. Nico Collins showed up last season for the Texans. C.J. Stroud, and they had Devin Singletary in the backfield with Dameon Pierce. But having Saquon in that system, along with Dalton Schultz, he's back at tight end for the Texans too. That's going to be a good offense. If he goes to Philly, that just, especially with that offensive line. I know Jason Kelsey isn't there anymore, but that's a good one. Dallas, if he wants to not win, then he'll go to Dallas because Dallas always.
If he wants to continue the mediocrity, he'll go to Dallas.
The Dallas Cowboys are like the better version of the Giants. Just
they're the more like Giants are Walmart and the Cowboys are Target. Pretty much the same thing. It just looks nicer.
Exactly. And if he goes to Dallas, go ahead, but you're not gonna win anything there, buddy. Like you might as well just go to Philly. That's if terms of going to teams in the division, you would go to Philly.
Yeah.
Plus, I guess his family or his friends are Eagles fans, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. From that aspect, I understand, but from my aspect, don't go to Philly.
In terms of McKinney, McKinney, I would work on bringing him back. I feel. Well, that's a good question. Who's more important, Saquon or McKinney?
McKinney.
Okay.
I think
McKinney,
it's nothing against Saquon. I think it's just very easy to replace a running back.
It is.
Like we could draft the running back in the third round, and he'd give us the same production Saquon did this season. Like he's not going to be the same caliber player, no, but he's still going to be good enough that the Giants have a good run attack.
And like we just mentioned, McKinney is 24 years old. Like he's
young.
He's young.
Mm-hmm. Saquon's old, and it's only going to get worse. Like that's something I think we don't talk about with Saquon Barkley. It's only downhill from here. He's 27.
Mm-hmm. And the running back kind of age where things go down drain is like he's 30 years old and he's getting there.
Exactly. It's we're going to have a few more good years of Saquon Barkley, but he's going to turn 30 and it's going to look ugly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we'll have to see with that. But whoever pays on the bag, good for them. Whether it's us.
You're getting a great player and a great guy.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the great guy part. He's a hell of a guy off the field. I love him. I love him to death. I just don't want to see him go. So we'll see what the Giants decide to do. Hopefully the running back market isn't, as.
I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I think it was Spot Attack, the contract website.
Yeah.
Valued it like 3 years, $29 million was his contract that they think he's gonna get. Not horrific.
True. I think the only reason the Giants haven't done that is because they already have so many holes to address. It's like
exactly, yeah. That's a move for a team that's one piece away. We need a running back. Let's go.
All right. So as of right now, who's coming back? Yeah, right. Are any of them coming back?
McKinney's coming back.
McKinney's coming back. Just Saquon he's gone.
Saquon, I think, is gone. I think Saquon is gone because I think it's just one of those things where like Joe Shane didn't draft him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of been like the face of the Giants, mediocrity. Let's just cut ties. He's like the last. Him and Daniel Jones. He's like the face of the Dave Gettleman era. Get rid of him and just move on from that. I think it's almost just like a cleanse, just like done.
Got it. Fair enough. For those of you who follow us on the bellyupsports.com website with our articles and stuff like that, I had a recent mock draft come out yesterday. I had the Giants, for a little spoiler alert, I had the Giants selecting Jaden Daniels with the first round pick. But more importantly, in the fourth round, they get a running back by the name of, and Brian knows this guy, and forgive me for mispronouncing it, Audric Estime from Notre Dame.
Audric Estime.
I like him. I like him a lot.
He's explosive. Yeah. I didn't want to say his name because I didn't want to be accused of Notre Dame bias. But yeah, I would love him to be a Giant.
Oh, especially in the fourth. If you get him in the fourth round, which I got.
Yes, him and Eric Gray would. Oh, I think Eric Gray's gonna have a big step up this season.
I hope so too. I like him. I do like Gray.
When I saw him out of Oklahoma, we drafted. I'm like, that's great. He's gonna be perfect behind Saquon. Now it's perfect behind Estime or whoever the Giants bring in at running back.
And if
I heard Josh Jacobs was a Giant target too. So
we don't.
I wouldn't hate it, but I don't love it.
I'd rather bring back Saquon than Jacobs.
Yeah, I'd rather bring it back Saquon or draft a rookie.
But I'm not gonna cry like, oh my god, we got Josh Jacobs. Like,
Yeah,
it's like I'll take him. Like I'm not gonna complain, but
it reminds me a lot of the Rashad Jennings contract we gave a few years ago.
oh yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. 'Cause I think he was also a Raider, so it fits. But yeah, that's what I think that contract would be.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think if we get Estime, especially with the rookie contract, I would take him. That's all along with Eric Gray too.
In a second.
We also might need a tight end because I don't understand. I get he's injured a lot, but I don't understand why the Giants are like, every year is always something with like bad luck.
Yeah.
Because Darren Waller might retire after just 1 year with this.
Darren Waller almost retired last year.
Really?
Like before the trade. Yeah, he was contemplating retiring before he came back. And then it just has not gotten better.
And it's mostly because of his injury history.
It's not anything the Giants have done. He's been fine with the Giants. It's more just like he's got, they think, nerve damage in his hamstring. He's been, played his whole career through injuries. Like, why he's made enough money? Like, why not just retire, be in the TV booth somewhere, and just do that?
Yeah, either that or go support his wife.
Go do that too.
Yeah, and WNBA.
His wife's gonna bring home enough money. He'll be fine.
She's a hell of a player for the Liberty.
Or she was on the
she's
Aces
on the Liberty.
Still.
God darn it, she's on the Aces. Oh my!
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she was on the Aces.
I think I mixed her up with Sabrina Ionescu because I keep thinking.
Yeah, Sabrina Ionescu is in Liberty.
See, See, my fault for those of you who watch women's basketball. I gotta watch more of those. My fault, guys. Benny's that's my cat. Oops, wrong picture. Shout out to I love him to death. Toby is his name.
Your cat's name's Toby?
That's his name is Toby.
My dog's name is Toby.
Really? Oh man, we love pets, man. Pets are great to have.
Shout out to pets.
This cat, because three of them, I used to take care of. Toby is one of them. The other two, one of them is Tux. The other one, his name's Kemat. But this guy, we got him last year, and we'll talk about him again down later or something. But I love this guy. Love this guy. Toby is his name. So wait, so your dog is Toby, and
my dog's name is Toby.
That's why we're co-hosts, buddy.
Exactly.
We each other.
Wow.
Well, shout out to our Tobys, man. Shout out to our Tobys. But more importantly, nope, that's not what I want to show. Here we go. We'll get to that SpongeBob picture in a bit. A question came up to me on Twitter, and the question was, what are our thoughts on the Giants using both second-round picks to reunite Bo Nix and Troy Franklin? For context, Bo Nix, as you can see, was teammates with Franklin last season. Nix went 12-2 as a starter for Oregon, threw 4,508 yards, 45 touchdowns compared to 3 interceptions, whereas Troy Franklin was pretty good as well, 81 catches, over 1,300 yards, and 14 touchdowns of his own. Considering the Giants, like we just mentioned with the whole Russell Wilson situation, do you see maybe this could be a good fit for us?
I mean, it could. It definitely could. I mix about Bo Nix. Like, he's so boom or bust for me. Like, if he gets in the right system, he do really well. But I do like the idea of pairing him up with his old receiver. I think that's just natural chemistry. It would just help his transition to the NFL better because he knows, like, all right, I already know how to play with this guy. I'll just throw it to him, be my safety net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think especially. I keep, mentioning it. If the Giants do get Wilson, you bring a guy like Bo Nix, who is, like we talked about with the other guys, a project. But you bring him in also with Troy Franklin, with his top wide receiver, that kind of just makes the ease into the NFL easier because you have two guys that have chemistry with one another, and then Franklin could be that wide receiver number one that Nix can depend on down the line. So I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, it's not a horrible idea. Especially if you bring in like a veteran, or if you be like, all right, Daniel Jones is going to start all season and Bo Nix is going to sit. I love it.
Exactly. Let's see. Other than that, that's all we have for the Giants. Draft is in a month and some weeks. So
Gotta come here fast. I'm tired of reading all these rumors. Like, I
me
just
too,
need,
man.
I just need to know who the Giants are gonna pick. It's killing me. Or do
I
they just
think
need to trade up? They need to do something to signal to me what they're doing.
I think we should be more excited about next week. That's when free agency starts, right? So that's when we'll see who the Giants will get, and then we can see what they get in the draft. But until then, we'll have mock drafts for you available on bellyupsports.com, courtesy of yours truly. And I'll get Brian on. Well, I'll talk with you, Brian, about getting an article mock draft done together and go from there. But in terms of the Giants, that's all we got for them in terms of around the NFL. Justin Metabuke. We talked about money earlier with Russell Wilson getting paid $85 million to do absolutely nothing. How about Justin Metabuke? A $98 million extension to stay with the Baltimore Ravens. He is now the highest paid defensive tackle for now.
Give it. You know, then when the next big free agent comes around, he'll be the highest paid. That's how it works.
Chris Jones is going to be the next highest.
Yeah, Chris Jones will be the highest paid.
He better stay in Kansas City. I'm sorry. I don't see him going anywhere else.
Unless a team gives him a stupid contract, he won't go anywhere. And the Chiefs probably just tag him.
And if he wants to win, he better stay there because they're gonna win.
Yeah, but like, why would you leave the modern dynasty?
Exactly.
When you're like a pivotal role to it.
Like, where do you want to go anyways? I don't know.
Okay, I get to stay here, be beloved, and win Super Bowls. Okay.
Speaking about the Chiefs, you remember the Miami game? That was like hella cold. Apparently, so there's some Chiefs fans and others that were in attendance as well. They face amputation. As we know, the temperature was -4 degrees at that game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins in the wild card round. The wind chill the wind chill contributed as well, decreasing the temperature to -27 degrees. 70% of patients that were admitted into the hospital for frostbite face amputation. The NFL manual, I guess, they talk about how if the weather dictates, heated benches must be available to both teams, blah, blah, blah. But most importantly, the manual does not provide guidance on whether to postpone the game in dangerously cold weather or how fans should approach extreme temperatures, according to the USA Today. That's kind of scary because, at first it was funny. Like, let's go to a game where it's like really cold and we're about to see the Chiefs and the Dolphins. And then it's like, okay, well, amputation.
It's taken a dark turn because I was one of the biggest. I'm like, that is so much fun. Go to cold weather games; they're so much fun. And then I see this report. I'm like, oh, I don't feel this isn't funny anymore. I feel really bad now.
Exactly, because it's scary to.
Oh, it's scary. Like, imagine going to a football game and just because you went to a football game, you're gonna lose limbs. Like, that's not even like thinkable.
Exactly. Like, you go to a game to have fun with your friends and family or just to enjoy the atmosphere. And then all of a sudden you end up in the ER and it's like, okay, shoot, I might actually lose a leg or an arm or something.
A life-changing thing is going to be done for me where I'm going to have to change how I live my life because I went to a football game.
Yeah. Would you, and the NFL's not to blame, obviously. No. You just got to, I guess
it's cold weather. It happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's up to the fan. You could have chosen to stay home. I'm not saying that I'm blaming the fans entirely. It's just, like you just mentioned, you can't control the circumstances of the weather, the environment.
It's not the NFL's fault. It's not the fans' fault. Like, the fans knew the risk. The fans knew it was cold out. They knew it was well aware, so they knew the risk they were potentially taking of going to this cold weather game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying it's definitely not, it's a tragic situation. It's just like cold.
What are you gonna do?
What do you want the NFL to do about it? Like, we told you it was gonna be cold. We can't do that much. We can't do much else. It's cold.
Oh man, but obviously prayers to the fans that went to that game. Hopefully they don't have to face amputation. A lot of unfortunate things, I guess, happening with people in Kansas City, especially with the shooting that happened at the parade. That was unfortunate as well when we heard of that. So. Regardless, hope the people in attendance are in the hospital get better, that they don't have to face amputation, that they come out with all their limbs. And, just gotta hopefully the weather's not ever like that again during a playoff game or any game in particular. Like, we love snow, we love rain games, but just, as long as the temperature's above zero.
Snow games are fun, but can it just be like 30?
Yeah, that's a win-win for everyone because 30
That's a
degrees, you
win-win.
can handle it.
It's cold, so it's fun, but like we're not gonna get frostbite.
Yeah, and you can be shirtless, and it's like, yeah, you're not gonna die.
But no, it's a little nippy out.
Yeah. The Chicago Bears, they left Indianapolis, the scouting combine, recently. Well, apparently, they love Caleb Williams even more. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who are big fans of Justin Fields staying in Chicago, this may be the end for you.
Yeah, this is the end for you.
Yeah, and this is not surprising. I just saw it, and it was interesting. But now I think about it, it's nothing new.
No,
Like,
nothing new at all. Like this was expected.
Mm-hmm. Caleb goes number 1, so Fields is likely out of there.
Yeah.
You trading him to Atlanta?
I could see Atlanta be a good spot for him. I could potentially even see maybe Minnesota if Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta.
Ooh, in division?
Be a very high price, but possible.
Would you say New England's a dark?
It's worth the full. Yes, New England would be a dark horse. I think New England is very set on Jane Daniels, though. I seen a report that they're going to either draft Jane Daniels or trade out.
And then all of a sudden they go tight end because that's what the Patriots are.
Exactly. Yeah, Brock Bowers.
What? We chose Brock Bowers because he's the next Gronkowski. No, bro, you go.
No. We're not continuing this. We fired Bill. We're done with this.
Oh man, if the Patriots go get Marvin Harrison, it's not the worst idea.
That's a good one too, but
they need you need a quarterback.
Bowers is a very big possibility for the New England Patriots, and every New England Patriot fan would cry.
Can you imagine though how especially with the Giants at number 6, if Bowers goes number 3, that leaves us with a quarterback.
I would have to leave the room because I live with fans. I would have to leave the room and go into my bedroom and celebrate because
and then laugh it off over
crying.
There.
Yeah.
And then you come back and be like, "I'm sorry, man, but it's okay."
Because my roommate talks about Jane Daniels more than I do. It's constantly talking about. He loves him more than anything. But yeah,
like I said,
if Jane Daniels could stay there at 3 and the Patriots don't take him, I'm gonna be happy. But it's gonna be a very interesting night.
The Patriots select Joe Alt from Notre Dame. What?
Damn it.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I'm very excited for. Obviously, we know Caleb's going number 1. It's just a matter of who's going afterwards. And we'll shift from the NFL, I guess, towards baseball. For right now, baseball season is just around the corner. A year ago today, I was. Actually, no. Plans were made to go to the A's opening day game against the Los Angeles Angels. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was the first time.
Opening is a good one.
That's the first time I saw the A's win. Well, it was an
opening
day. Yeah, because I'm telling you, the season before, every time I went to a game, they lost.
They lost, yeah.
And they lost bad. Like it was.
The A's are not a good baseball team. They are bad.
I thought they better turn it around this year because. Look, man, I'm gonna watch them, and they better not be ass. And if this is the last season, I tell you. Okay, let's start with your Mets real quick because I know we talked about a lot of Giants stuff. We might as well stay in the New York area. Let's see. Like I mentioned, I'm a Phillies fan and an A's fan, so I know some things about the Mets. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. Pete Alonso's good. Kodai Senga is Asian. He's Asian, so
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Very good.
Justin, he left. He got traded.
Yep.
Lindor.
Yep, Lindor plays
shortstop. Okay. Damn, that's all I got. Okay, well, tell me about the Mets.
All right, so the Mets went in last season with World Series expectations. They had two-headed monster of Verlander and Scherzer.
Okay.
Didn't work out. Had to trade them away the deadline. Basically revamped the farm system. We went from having a bottom 5 in the league to a top 5 in the league in basically 2 seasons. We rebuilt the farm system, so that's great. But going into this year, it's really what you can do. There's a lot of internal options. basically a transition to 2025. You're going to see guys like Pete Alonso, Lindor, and Nimmo. Their pictures in this lineup. Where you're going to see, guys like Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, Jet Williams, Luis Angel Acuna, Mike Christian Scott. Those are going to be young guys that are given their tryout to make the team, and can they contribute to this team in a big way for 2025? This Mets team is gearing up for 2025. 2024 is going to be fun. They'll compete for a wild card spot. The pitching is probably a little light. They probably need a number one. They don't have that right now. But yeah, this is all about 2025. This is getting the roster ready for next season.
So in a division of the NL East, which is pretty competitive, where would you put the Mets?
Third, maybe fourth.
I would go Atlanta, Philly, Mets, Marlins, Nationals. Is that too unrealistic?
That's exactly mine.
Realistic.
Maybe flipped Mets Marlins.
At least you're not flipping Mets and Nationals.
No.
Oh my God, they're a dumpster fire. They won the World Series
they
5
won the World
years
Series
ago.
2019, but that's it. They won the World Series. Now you don't get nice things.
It's like they won it, and it's like, okay, we're done. It's like, damn, all right.
Okay, that's it. You're done. You're done.
I guess real quick on the Phillies, being a fan of two teams, I should say. I'm optimistic about the Phillies for sure, as always. Third time's the charm. They made the NLCS last season. Pitching staff is pretty much intact with Nola and Wheeler coming back on the extension.
Up that big extension. Yeah.
I love that.
It was such a mistake letting him walk. He was a Met for years.
I know he was, and he came to us.
Yeah. I remember where I was when he signed.
Hey, man. But where were you?
Backseat of my friend's car.
Yeah.
Window.
He must have cried or something. But behind those two, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez, and Taijuan Walker, not in that order exactly. Oh, Taijuan Walker wasn't Met. Man, we're just
Taijuan Walker wasn't Met. Yeah,
we're just stealing all the Mets.
Yeah, you can have him.
He won a lot of games, but it was like he wasn't like dominant. He's a number 3 for sure.
Starter because he would like dominate half the season, like pitch to like a 2 ERA, like this guy's really really good, and then would just fall apart in the second half and pitch to like a 6. It's like, come on. A little consistency.
A little bit. Something.
I'm not asking for the 2. Give me a 4 ERA. Just be a constant 4 ERA pitcher so I know what you're doing.
I knew he was like barely in the playoffs. Like I don't think he even played because I know it was him and Lorenzen. I'm sorry?
Bullpen at one point? Because I don't think he definitely wasn't starting those playoff games, but I think I saw him in like relief at one point.
He was in the bullpen or he was on the bench in the dugout, but like I think we saw him once, but like that's like the very most because he was just not. I don't know why. Hey, that's Rob Thompson for you. I love the guy.
Yeah.
Offensively, Harper at first base, Stott second, Turner at third, Bohm at third. No, my God, Turner at short, Alec Bohm at third, and then we have the outfield of Schwarber, Rojas, and then Castellanos. So
it's good. It's pretty good. Phillies are good. Phillies are scary.
Third time's the charm, baby. Hope we get it done this year. But in terms of the Oakland A's, yeah. I hope to go to a game once or twice this season. Optimistically, yeah.
In the American League West.
Esteury Ruiz, the center fielder for the A's, he's one guy to be excited about. Brent Rooker, hits dingers.
Mm-hmm. You're doing the same. You're doing the same thing I am, but just like not with not with like the anticipation that like next year the Mets will compete. It's like, all right, these are a few players that go to the A's. The A's will be good in 5 years.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if there's a guy that signed with the A's. He's a reliever, or something. I forgot. And then I guess the contract is like, well, actually. No, scratch that. The point is, whoever the A's sign in free agency, they're going to get traded by midseason. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's just oh, my God. I hate it.
You get signed. It's the Billy Bean, Sandy Olderson mindset of just like, you have to constantly be stocking that farm system because you can't pay for any of these guys. So
Exactly.
Like it's stupid. It sucks, and like that's probably part of the reason they're moving to Vegas. But like, you're telling me Fisher, who's worth $2.2 billion, can't afford to sign someone to a long-term contract? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, just sign one guy. Just one guy.
One
fans can be
one
like,
guy.
yeah, just one guy. The fans be like, okay, we can support this guy. When you go to Vegas, he'll still be there. Just one guy. But they're all in short-term contracts, or they're just prospects that are young.
A's needs their face of the franchise, and they don't have it. They need a guy like when you think of the A's, it's that guy.
They have, but there's potentially guys on the roster.
Potentially guys there, but there's not. And then there's the short-term contract thing. Well, okay, I'm thinking of him as an A, but he'll be gone in 3 months, in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
So like the A's need to commit to somebody and be like, you are our guy.
Mm-hmm. They have to appoint somebody. Whoever.
It's a bad example because of what this guy did. I'm not saying what this guy did was good, but the Rays made the right move with Juan DeFranco, where they gave him 12 years, $135 billion, and were like, you are going to be the face of our franchise. We didn't think he'd be dating minors, but we didn't think he was a piece of crap, but
when he was playing, he was promising.
When he's playing, he's a good player, and it was a genius idea. Okay, the franchise is now being built around him. They need to find that and just, okay, that's our guy. We'll continue to build around him.
Well, he was a player on the field, and he was a player off the field.
He was something off the field.
He just with the wrong population, I guess, Franco.
Population, so. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad what he did. It's bad.
I have no comment. I was just like, you can't find someone your age, like.
I don't understand why.
Oh man,
I'm all for individuality, all that crap. Be normal when it comes to this stuff. Don't take kids.
Like you can go crazy on the field, like just make outstanding plays, hit dingers, steal bases. Just keep it calm off the field, man. Don't draw attention to yourself. And Wander Franco, exactly. This stood out to me. Yeah, so this was back on February 15th. A Phillies Twitter account mentioned something about throwing empty beer bottles at Mets fans, and Brian responded, and people ask why I hate Philadelphia so much. That led to someone saying the same account repeating or responding back to you saying, I got a Miller High Life with your name on it. That
response was hilarious. That was funny. I read that. I'm like, that's great. That's amazing.
What was it about?
So MLB posted, what do you miss most about baseball? That was the post. What do you miss most about baseball? And he said throwing beer cans at Mets fans, and then and people wonder why I hate Philly.
Yeah,
like MLB's like, what do you miss the most? People are like, eating a hot dog at the game, the crack of the bat, violence.
Oh, when I saw that and all the attention towards it, I was like, "Oh, that's my guy, though."
I'll deal with it. I'm so down to start fighting, and then they start posting pictures of me and doxing me. I'm like, okay, this gets deleted now.
Yeah, like we want, I was supposed to get out of the
the first guy's response was, "I have a Miller Lite with your name on it." Dude that went online and found my LinkedIn and posted my profile picture.
Aye. LinkedIn, out of all the websites that
posted my profile picture of LinkedIn. I'm like, that's weird.
Well, MLB did post a good question. What do you miss or what are you excited about or miss about baseball?
Feeling of going to a ballpark, just like going, you get the Citi Field, like that smell, sitting in your seat and just watching a ball game. It's just life is good.
I miss the overpriced hot dogs and nachos that the Oakland Coliseum provided for us. I think there was a point where around like $70 was spent on like 3 churros, ice cream, and like some random ass stuff for like $70 when it should have been like 40 or 30 or something. Yeah. They had these
markups crazy.
Yeah, they had these like helmet nachos, which were okay, but they were like $18, and I'm just
because you're paying for the helmet. I get
fair
when
enough.
I go to Citi Field, I get ice cream in a Mets helmet. So price, but I'm getting the helmet. I want the helmet. It's what I want.
I kept that. Yeah. The ice cream was good, but it's just like damn, like $10 for like small helmet.
Good, it's just not worth it. So you're paying for the experience and you're paying for everything else.
It's just I want to go back to an A's game because the last time I went to one, it was miserable because we left early in the 8th because they were losing so bad.
Yeah,
and then
we went to where they win.
Yeah, like I'm saying, opening day is I'm excited to see, and I mean I don't know who the starter is going to be, but I'm pretty sure with the pitching staff the A's have, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Before we get to our mailbox questions, that's going to be our last segment. Basketball wise, Knicks. I'm not going to say anything about the Lakers because all we need to know is that they're in the play-in tournament or in the play-in race, and that they're going to stay there.
Because LeBron got 40,000. Shout out to him.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was fun. I was surprised they didn't stop the game like they did for when he broke.
That's what I'm saying.
Record. So my whole house, like we turned the game on because like, oh, we're gonna watch.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch LeBron make history, and like we were trying to convince our girlfriends, like, hey, like, you know, like this is a big deal. Like you don't know, this is big. What's gonna happen? Like they're gonna stop the game, and we took 2 hours, and they finally convinced, like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And and then we watched it, and it happened, and we like sat there and waited. We're like, playing.
Yeah, and it's like they kept going for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, we were waiting for something that didn't come. It's like, I guess we can turn the movie back on now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was waiting too because I was just like, okay, you know, we're gonna see like the game's gonna be stopped. It's gonna stop.
Yeah,
the game is going to stop.
Yeah, they're gonna do like a video for him. His family's gonna hug him. Like it's gonna be a good moment, and then just
nothing. But yeah, so LeBron, like you mentioned, past 40,000. Anthony Davis has been relatively healthy. D'Angelo Russell has been a third star.
Yeah.
Times 10. Went off for 40 last night against the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Just have to hang in there, stay in the play-in. I don't see it going anywhere else. I don't see them jumping to the top 6 because that's just who the Lakers are.
Yeah.
But as long as you just don't, you know, lose out. Or not lose out, but just lose enough games to where you're not even in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but more importantly, talk about the Knicks. Because the Knicks, for a team that doesn't have like crazy superstar talent, according to the average NBA fan, I should say, for me, Jalen Brunson is a superstar. Julius Randle is a solid 6.
Close you can get to a superstar without being a superstar.
Exactly.
I think he's like right there. You gotta go either way, but like he's probably more of a really, really, really good player.
Mm-hmm. Is he your favorite Knicks player? Okay. For me,
Jalen Brunson has done something to this team where he has just completely turned the identity of the Knicks around. Like before Brunson, the Knicks were just like perennial losers. With Brunson, we're like an actual threat that people respect.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because back before Brunson, it was like, oh, Julius Randle.
It's Julius Randle, it was Porzingis, it was Carmelo, and they were nice, but like there was so much other stuff going on that it was a joke.
And now you got yourself a point guard that is just one of the best in the NBA.
Yeah, now we just have guys. Like you don't hear James Dolan stories anymore. You don't hear that we're throwing out fans and stuff 24/7. You just hear what Jalen Brunson did on the basketball court that night.
Or if Josh Hart's getting double doubles.
Or what Josh Hart's doing. Yeah, exactly.
I love Josh Hart. Holy crap.
He's good. He's very underrated. Very underrated. Like in that Cavaliers game, when Brunson went down, he just took over. He goes, okay, I guess I'll be the guy tonight.
It's either him or DiVincenzo.
Yeah,
I like him. DiVincenzo, he's a solid 2 guard. Knicks are 37-26, fourth in the East. They just won 90-74 over the originally 4th seeded Magic last night as we're recording this. And then Brunson had the little injury scare a couple games ago.
The injury scare came back, dropped 20 last night.
Yes, 26, I think. I didn't watch. I just looked up Google.com.
I think he played 21 minutes and scored 26.
Oh, 21 minutes?
It could be flipped. He played 26 minutes and scored 21. It's something like that, but he had a good game last night.
Yeah. Well, regardless, they won, and he put up 20. So
yeah.
He put 20-something, just a matter of how many. We'll take it, though. But the Knicks, very promising team. And obviously,
just to get healthy.
Yeah. When Julius comes back, Mitchell Robinson needs to come back, right? He's still.
Yeah, he's banged up still.
He's still banged up. Okay.
Yeah.
And Ananobi's the other guy. That's who I was thinking about. He's the guy that needs to get healthy too because
Who?
Ananobi.
Oh, OG, yeah, OG,
OG.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, he started doing basketball reps. He's on the court. Not games yet, but I would say within the next 2 weeks he should be playing.
One unrelated guy that I'm rooting for is Lonzo Ball. Let's come back, baby. He's been running, but that's all he's been doing.
That's all he can do, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I miss seeing him play. That's my guy. I love Lonzo. Hasn't played in a couple of years, and that sucks because, man, there's something with the Ball family. You hear about LiAngelo and the Mexican team he joined? He played 2 games, and he's headed back to the U.S. because he had his ankles messed up. It's been 2 games.
What's going on? It's the shoe, right? It's got to be the shoe. Big ball brand.
He's the only guy that wears his family's shoes. Because LaMelo wears Puma, and Alonzo wears like a bunch of different ones.
But no, because I remember there was a rumor that like the shoe is so bad that it's hurting their legs. That's why Lonzo has the injuries, and that's why LiAngelo now has an injury.
Yay!
It's a very cheap shoe,
and it costs like $500.
It's very expensive, but it's made cheap.
Not Shapovar. Hell of a dad though, but just not the best.
I remember when the Knicks before Brunson in 2019, when LaMelo was coming out, I wanted the Knicks trade for Lonzo, sign LiAngelo, and draft LaMelo, and give LeVar courtside seats.
That was the exact dream I had for my Lakers.
I'm like, if we're gonna be bad, might as well just put a circus tent on top of it. Make it a joke.
Oh man, but yeah, I think the Ball family they're injured a lot. LaMelo's still out, Lonzo's obviously out, and LiAngelo back to the U.S. after playing just 2 games with the Jalisco Astros. Yeah, nice job, boys. The Astros are a good team though. The
Astros are a good team. Yep.
We're
in the midst of their dynasty right now.
I was talking about the basketball Astros, but yeah, Houston, yeah, they're good too, I guess.
I didn't think it was some of the Astros. I heard Astros like baseball.
Oh man, the Astros are going to be back in the they'll be back in the World Series.
They're back in the American League Championship Series. I don't know about World Series.
That's who they are, man.
They're consistent.
That's true. All right, last segment, mailbox. First time we're doing this. Questions from you guys. Some are serious, like I mentioned about sports. Some are not so serious, which will be fun too. First question. NFL offseason from my guy Josh. What will be the biggest free agent signing this offseason? Let's see. Well, it's not going to be a quarterback. No, because there's not a lot of, I guess.
The Kirk Cousins, Jacoby. It's Kirk Cousins and Jacoby Brissett.
And friends.
Yeah.
Other than that, you got nothing. I would say, I don't know. I don't mean to be biased, but I'm going to say Saquon, wherever he goes.
I was going to say Saquon going to Houston is what I was going to say. I'm just scrolling through, just see if it's a big name.
I hate to say it. I may either go Saquon or Philly because there's just so much connection there, and they after last season with DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell and players like that, I think they were like, okay, if we're gonna try to win here, and if we're gonna run the ball a lot, especially with the offensive line, and to stick it to the Giants, I would go get Saquon.
Yeah, no, it'd be a move they're famous for, just poking us.
And if I weren't gonna be biased, I would say. I was going to say Chris Jones, but he's going to be back. I was going to
say Chris Jones back to Chiefs was what I would do, or wherever he goes.
Maybe Derrick Henry to...
Yeah, Derrick Henry would be a big one.
Where would he go?
Back to Tennessee. I could see him maybe as a second-place prize for if he doesn't get Saquon. Or maybe Saquon. I could see say the Eagles are interested and they don't get him. They could pivot to Henry. The Bills would be a good addition. Have him and James Cook be a 1-2 punch.
Lightning and thunder.
Yeah, because you could bring in Cook, do first downs and stuff, and turn Henry into just the bowling ball that he is, short down in red zone. I think it would save longevity on his career because he's not going to get hit as much. He's not going to be a bowling ball like he has been. And it just kind of works.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like it. I mean, the running back market is...
It's hard. The running back is hard because nobody wants to pay a running back.
And it sucks because these guys are talented too.
They're talented, but when one of these guys doesn't work out, you're known as the idiot that paid a running back, where it's well known you don't pay running backs.
I pay him.
You're in a rock and a hard place. It's like, I want to sign this player because he's going to be better, but if this blows up in my face, I'm going to lose my job.
That's exactly. Amen to that one. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I mean, free agency starts on Monday, I believe, so we'll see who goes where. But as both of us being Giants fans, Saquon, you know where to go. Anywhere else but Philly. Even though I think you're going to Philly, don't go to Philly.
No, we're Philly.
Next question from my guy Isaac. What should the Raiders do in the draft? Well, I know they have a mid-round pick. I think they're pick number 13.
Pulling it up right now.
Because they didn't make the playoffs, so that would eliminate them from the top. From the bottom.
They are 13. They are 13.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I got it right. Well, they're not going to get a quarterback.
Unless they trade up, which I don't think they would.
Would you?
If I'm the Raiders, for the splash of it, because you got the new coach and everything, give them pair the quarterback and the coach together.
Okay. I would. If I'm not going to trade up, I know Daniels, May, and Williams, not in that order of obviously, are going to be gone.
Yeah.
Would you swing at a Penix or a McCarthy?
I think you're way too early. You got to trade back for those guys. I think you're bigger. I think there's a lot of linemen you can draft here. You can pick up. I'm looking like the kid from Oregon State was pretty good.
It's just who would you?
I would want to trade up and get a quarterback, but I think if we're being realistic, they're going to sit and take a tackle or draft a lineman.
I think the only option is.
I think the Raiders are going to be just smart about this one.
Yeah, I think the only option is to trade up, especially with the situation.
Or if you want to trade back and pick up like a McCarthy, a Penix, a Bo Nix, yeah, you do that too. You trade up in the second round because one of those three are going to sit there.
Exactly. So it's like they're at a spot where they're going to trade up or they're going to trade down, and it's like if you're going to stay there at 13, you're either going to go.
You're going to go tackle at 13. If you stay at 13, you're going tackle. Maybe you pick up a linebacker or a defensive back, but you're most likely going to address that offensive line.
Which, if you're a Raiders fan, you're not the most excited about because you want to splash pick, especially with Antonio Pierce being the full-time head coach.
If I'm a Raiders fan, the most exciting thing we can do is trade up for one. Trade up for two.
What would you give up, though?
I would draft the quarterback. I would draft Williams with it. Or draft Daniels.
What would you trade up?
A lot of Raiders fans excited.
But what would you trade to get number one?
So you would have to trade 13. You probably would have to trade your first-round pick next year. Definitely at least 2 second-round picks. Like, model what the Bears did last year and make it more. Probably need to throw a player in there, too, because you're moving from 13 to 1. That's a major jump.
Where were the Panthers at last year? Were they at 6?
Panthers were at 9 last year.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Oof. Raiders bought trade up. Freaking luxury for
they're going to have to, like, break the bank to move to 1. Or even move to 3, they're going to have to break the bank.
But I think the Bears learned their lesson, though. They're like, we traded 1 last year. We're not going to do this again.
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, I could see him being persuaded. If a team calls and offers something they can't refuse, they, I think, would take it. But
I think a dark horse is the Commanders because they're at 2, but they have Sam Howell.
Yeah, so the Commanders are weird. So the draft starts at 2. It's what the Commanders are going to do. Do they want to draft the quarterback? Do they want to stick with Sam Howell, or do they want to move out? Like, what are they? What's their position? Because they can do all three.
It's just a matter of if Dan Quinn trusts Howell to be okay.
It's how Dan Quinn and the new offensive staff evaluates Sam Howell. If they think Sam Howell is a good quarterback, they're going to keep him. If not, they have their perfect pick.
Exactly. So yeah, I think in conclusion, if the Raiders, if they're gonna at 13, yeah, they're gonna have to
For a quarterback, or they're going to take a tackle or cornerback.
Exactly.
I can see the kid from Clemson too. Nate Wiggins, I think, could be.
Oh, the corner.
The corner, yeah, I think that could be a guy the Raiders to keep an eye on.
Crazy fast.
Yeah.
All right, not so serious question. If you could have free meals for life at one fast food chain, which one would you choose?
Five Guys.
Five Guys?
Yeah. It's free and it's good.
Aren't they expensive?
Exactly, but I'm getting free meals.
Oh yeah, true. I would take In-N-Out though. You had In-N-Out before?
No, we don't have In-N-Out here.
Oh yeah, because California and New York. Yeah. I'll go In-N-Out for me. I don't know. Fries are the best for me at In-N-Out, and the burgers are great too. Milkshakes can't go wrong with those, and they're iced with the sodas. Top tier. I had Five Guys before though, but it's not the.
It's fine. I like it. It's just like, it was on my way home from work, so I always would pick it up.
I would rate in terms of burger places. I go In-N-Out, and then I would go. Hold up. Do you have a top five?
Fast food places or just
Yeah.
burger places? Okay. Yeah, I would probably do. Not any particular order. Wendy's, McDonald's, Five Guys, Chick-fil-A,
That's what it was.
and then I need a fifth one.
I was gonna say Burger King, but that's like that's like bottom tier.
I mean, like I've had it, it's fine, but like I don't love it. I'm gonna go Zaxby's. It's just
Zaxby's.
yeah, I like Zaxby's a lot.
Is that an East Coast thing?
That's a Southeast thing.
Oh, okay,
Go on
Southeast.
vacation
Okay.
and get yeah.
I would go In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, and then I would go Five Guys, and then a McDonald's, and then Burger King. I had Jack in the Box before. Oh, that's crap. I'm sorry.
crap.
That's oily as hell. Before we continue with the questions, by the way, I know we've gone for an hour, but sometimes it's good to go over your limit because a trade just came in. So I understand that Denver has a lot of things to fix.
Oh
but
no!
Shouldn't you keep your number one guy at wide receiver?
Did they?
Jerry Judy's gone.
Oh my God! He's a Brown. Fifth and sixth round pick. Why the hell did the Giants not do that? Oh my God! Why did the Giants not hop on that?
Oh man!
Oh my God! Fifth and a sixth for Jerry Judy.
A fifth and a sixth. I would have given away a fifth and a sixth. The guys that I chose in the mock draft, for the Giants mock draft, bro, I don't even know who they are in the fifth and the sixth.
Sixth round picks are lottery. It's literally a lottery ticket. Well, you're gonna lose, but maybe you'll hit.
Hey, give us Cortland Sutton then. If that's the case, give us Sutton too.
Yeah, I think you can send a fourth round pick.
Hey, Sutton might cost 2 7th-round picks.
Yeah, it was so. Fourth round pick and a used bag of balls. Like, boom. That's the market you're setting.
Oh, that's ridiculous. All right, last question. Your favorite song right now, buddy?
Great question. You go first.
Okay, I think for me, you know who SZA is?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Okay, so you know the song Saturn?
Yeah, I think so.
I like that. Okay, listen, I don't listen to R&B that much, but like that song came up on my sister actually, by the way. She's the one who recommended it, or she was singing it, and I heard it on TikTok before, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh shit, this actually is pretty solid. So that's the song on my playlist right now.
Out Last Night by Kenny Chesney. That's what we've been playing a lot.
Ain't he country?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that I think for me, Saturn's that one, and then this is a song called "Yesterday" by Austin George. That one's a banger. I found it on TikTok, but I'm gonna listen. What was it called again by yours?
Out Last Night by Kenny
Out
Chesney.
Last Night. Okay.
Yep.
I will listen to that one and give it a try.
Give it a chance.
I saw this online. Apparently, I'm a PlayStation user. I don't know what do you use?
I
PlayStation?
use PlayStation. I'm out of video games right now. I'm kind of just waiting for NCAA to come out.
Same here.
Yeah.
I don't see the need because honestly, I touched the PlayStation like a few times here and there. I just don't really feel like playing anything until NCAA comes out.
Like I have the Switch. We play that, but that's more like party games. Like we play like Mario Kart, Mario, Wii Sports. It's a party game. It's not like you're actually playing video games. It's just like this is something we're doing now.
Yeah, would you buy this one? I heard this was like $700.
I'd buy this. This is cool. With the SpongeBob, I would 100% buy this.
Yeah, for the fun of it, I would get it. So, and then other than that, I think that's it. Oh yeah, so once again, shout out to my cat Toby. Love him to death. And we just got a message on the Belly Up Slack channel from Mike.
Jerry Judy for fifth and sixth. I would.
Yeah, all of us would take Jerry Judy for fifth and a sixth.
I'd take Jerry Judy for a third. Christ.
Man, I didn't. Third or fourth round pick. Shoot.
Yeah.
He's just cheap. I take that. I'll take that all day.
And that's going to affect the market. I think we might see wide receivers start moving.
All I'm gonna say is, man, the Giants better do something good. I don't care if it's free agent. I don't care if it's a trade. I don't care if it's the draft. They better nail their
stuff.
For
wide receiver, the Giants better be on the phone with somebody.
Because they need a wide receiver number one, and there's no way we enter next season with Darius Slayton and Wandale and Jalen Hyatt. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I think that'll do it. That we went for an hour and 11.
Hour 15, yeah, not bad.
Makes sense. We haven't recorded in a month, so
exactly.
We'll. This was fun, man. I appreciate you.
Had a great time.
Appreciate you guys as well for watching and listening to us. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Any questions for us, we will answer them for you in our next episode, which will likely be soon. Let's not make any confirmations yet. Our goal is Monday.
There will be a free agency recap episode.
There you go. And then if Monday works out for both of us, we will go from there. And then, so because free agency starts Monday, so maybe news will pop up as soon as we wake up.
Maybe. Good news all day.
Yes, sir. You can follow me on Twitter at BellyUpNate. On Instagram, Nathan_Nguyen, spelled Nguyen 24. You can follow Brian as well on Instagram and Twitter at
Brian PG1016 on Twitter.
You got it, Buckaroo. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much as always. And send in your questions, any comments, any topics you want us to discuss. We'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully, to discuss more NFL free agency talk. We went over a lot of stuff today. Russell Wilson, we'll see where he goes. We talked about the Giants a little bit with McKinney and Saquon Barkley, where they will go. The Giants will bring him back. We talked about some baseball and some basketball and some of your questions that we've got from you guys. So we appreciate it. And go Giants.
Go Giants.
Yeah. Next time, if a receiver is available for a fifth and a sixth round pick,
take it. Do it.
Go get him next time. Don't let him go to the Browns. Which, by the way, that's kind of football hell because you don't want to. I'm sorry, he's screwed, man. Cleveland is not
the one being Cleveland.
Denver's messed up for that. Anyways, we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you then.